everyone. Welcome back to another one of my live streams. In today's live stream, I'm going to be talking to you about the Unstoppable Sales Prospecting System. As you know, if you've been following along, my latest book, The Unstoppable Sales Prospecting System, which is just over my shoulder, was recently released. And I've been each week sharing with you different strategies, methods, kind of behind the scenes of writing the book, what went into writing the book, and a little bit of a peel back the layers or peel back the onion, although that can make us cry, obviously, but peel back the layers ultimately of what's behind some of the techniques, some of the practices that I share within the book. What I wanted to provide you today is a little bit of an overview. If you haven't grabbed a copy of the book yet, they are available on Amazon and all great places. Books are sold. Again, the Unstoppable Sales Prospecting System. There's plug, obviously. But I wanted to share with you just kind of in a simple document form. So I went through the book and identified the 10 steps, which is laid out in one of the chapters in great detail. But I thought I'd just share an overview of those with you today to give you a sense of what's in this book. Now, let me preface showing you this by saying, first off, this is me grabbing the context out of the book. So this is not some fancy visual. I just want to be straight with you about what are some of the content we cover. Secondly, you're going to notice some of these aren't earth-shattering. And in my experience in sales, specifically in prospecting, some of the practices and methods aren't earth-shattering, right? And you're going to see that in the overview. But what's important is how they work together. Meaning, if you don't do a step to its entirety, or you do it incorrectly, or you skip it because you don't think it's that important, it can impact your ability to prospect successfully. So these steps are put together in this order because you need to do them in this order in order to be effective and ultimately successful in prospecting. The last thing I'll mention is this. If you do want to go into more depth, obviously, and understand what's behind these, beyond what I'm sharing here, you can always grab a copy of the book, and hopefully you enjoy it and find you can put it to use. All right, so let me just share with you just briefly what this looks like. And then I'll walk through these 10 steps. Again, we spare nothing when it comes to the best graphic visuals that we can share here. Obviously, we did spare nothing. So nonetheless, step one, segment your ideal customers or clients. Again, not a common sense step here, but I find a lot of sales professionals are pursuing anybody and everybody. So they're either going after the big fish, right? Or they're going after companies that seem to be of interest. They're taking maybe quasi-warm leads that marketing has thrown over the fence. That's fine, but who are the ideal customers best suited for your product or service that will pay a premium price and would appreciate the value that you and your company can bring to them? That will narrow the market quite a bit, and you really have to focus. There's a saying here that I'm not recalling exactly, but the idea is, wherever you focus and put your attention, that's where the opportunities will arise. So if you're focusing on everybody, you know what's going to happen. You're going to be spread too thin, and you're not really going to achieve the results you want. You're not going to connect with the prospects you desire. So that's step one. Step two, you want to create your multi-channel outreach strategy. We've talked about that in previous virtual live streams here on LinkedIn, but also on Facebook, on some of the other platforms, YouTube as well. I've shared in depth what that looks like. And keep in mind, it's not just saying, hey, here are the channels we're going to connect in. It's building a sequence which enables the initial conversation. And it's assessing what channel is this prospect specifically okay connecting with me on. So that's your second step. Your third step then is figuring out the indirect methods to connect. So how are you going to connect with people outside of your direct efforts? Are there specific events you want to attend? Are there partnerships you want to build, etc.? So the book goes through, you want to build that architecture first. What are all those indirect areas, methods, ways in which you're going to connect with prospects? Once you've got that set up, then what you want to do is figure out your value assets. Now, you've heard me say this probably repeatedly, but as a professional in sales, you can either pursue people with the intent of getting a meeting, which is taking or at least asking for their time, which is their most important asset, most valuable asset, or you can offer things of value to them. Insights, publications, demonstrations, referrals, etc. The list goes on, and I've spoken at length before about this. And in the book, we break down what are various types of different value assets by industry, by sector, that you could actually develop on your own right? Or capture or grab, if you will. They might already be in existence. And then when you're going out, you strategically place that value along the way so that you're becoming a valued partner, somebody that they look towards because you're demonstrating your knowledge, but not by telling them, by sharing these value assets. If you'd like more information on what does that look like for me, obviously the book will break that down for you. With that, those value assets in play, or at least developed, again, many of them will already be in development. It's strategically how you position and use them. Then what you need to do is figure out, okay, you're going to now launch your outreach. So you've identified the channels, you've identified the value assets, you put some messaging together. How do I launch in a way that's most effective? And in the book, I share with you the decelerated approach to outreach. So a lot of sales professionals get a name, get a lead, they get excited, and they go after it, right? I place 2 calls today, I email you tomorrow. But after a couple weeks, if I've tried, what tends to happen is my outreach tails off and I give up. I say, well, it's been 3, 4, 5, 6 times, haven't heard from you, I'm going to stop. Studies have shown that's the opposite, particularly when you don't know this individual. You're better out to start slow. So I contact you this week, then I contact you maybe next week, maybe in 2 weeks. But then over time, I narrow the time or duration between my outreach to familiarize you with me. The book explains that in detail, walks you through how to design that. So that is the next step. With that in play, now you've got to master the first conversation. So I've discussed a lot the different ways by which you want to ensure that first conversation includes, what strategies you include, what language you include. I've discussed in the book provocation and the importance of using that to differentiate yourself from the competition. So that is your next step. What is that going to look like? Because it's going to differ for each of those identified ideal customers or clients, their segments, what's important to them, where they're located, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you've got to have those ready to go. Then you want to have a follow-up sequence ready. So rather than, okay, I connected with Sean, we had an initial conversation, now Sean's disappeared into the ether. What should my follow-up look like? How frequently should I follow up? What value assets should I share in my follow-up so I'm not being annoying? And so that's the next step. With that in play, then what you want to do is say, okay, you've got this initial thing somewhat designed, if you will. Now what we want to do is figure out for those prospects that we have the connection with, we follow up with, and they don't go anywhere. They tend to die off, or they say, hey, get back to me next year. You've got to have a prospect nurture system or a prospect nurturing engine, as I describe it here. That is something that will help you remain in contact with them over time. Now, you can engage your marketing team and to some degree maybe use email as a way to do this, but I suggest this is something that you develop and you deliver. Because using email, although it's highly productive, especially if you're going after hundreds and hundreds of prospects, it can also be something that becomes boring because that's what they're getting from everybody else. And the whole premise of the book is you've got to be different in how you reach out and connect with prospects so that they recognize the value that you bring. So your prospect nurture engine, and in the book it describes what does that look like, what's the frequency, what will you share in order to stay top of mind without being annoying. You want to retain that, hey, you're someone I trust and I value and I want to stay in touch with until the time is right to buy from you. Once that nurture engine is complete, you want to create your partnership channels. These are the various individuals, professionals, other sales professionals who sell into the same companies you do that you can create strategic partnerships with, not legal partnerships, but strategic partnerships to share referrals, leads, etc. So that needs to be built out, but not until this time, because up until now you probably don't have much to share with those partners. Last but not least, launch and continue to optimize. In all of the models that I've developed over the years, that's always step 10 or the last step. Launch, obviously, but then optimize. And if you follow the steps, that is your launch. You'll launch as you go, as you see design in these steps. So again, nothing overly exciting, I guess I would say there, relative to the image, but I thought, you know what, what's best to show you here that's direct and to the point, so you don't have to spend a lot of time trying to read a visual. And so I just thought, I'm going to grab them right out of the book, put them on a document, and show them to you and walk you through them. So if that's something that's of interest to you, obviously you can grab your own copy of the Unstoppable Sales Prospecting System, now available in all great places books are sold. You can find out or learn more about the book on my website, SeanCasemore.com. And until next time, let's get out there, go sell something, and I wish you the best in your prospecting adventures. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.